Okay, this morning before we get into this fish, I want Susie to come down here and show you one of our greenhouse leopard frogs. Gonna get in there and get him good. He's been hanging around up at the front. Do you have him in the view? I don't see him. Oh, okay. Can you get closer? Here, let me try.
Yes, I can. I can zoom.
Okay. Okay, that's one of our greenhouse leopard frogs. We probably have a dozen of them in here. We have at least that many bullfrogs. In fact, this leopard frog probably will be bullfrog food at some point, I say. At night, they're all out hunting. There are all kinds of insects and stuff for them to get, fish. Bullfrogs especially eat fish. Yesterday, Stormy and I were on that side of the greenhouse, and we heard a high-pitched squeal screaming. And on this last row, about halfway down, I ran over there. There was a Texas ribbon snake, had a leopard frog by the hind leg. And when I came running up, the snake let it go to flee, and the leopard frog survived. That's a strategy used by a lot of animals. In fact, baby rabbits make, and actually even adult rabbits make a very similar high-pitched squeal when a predator is after them. And it's a pretty good strategy because what happens is that squealing attracts other predators, sometimes predators that are going to prey upon the predator that's after the animal. And in fact, one time out in front of the greenhouses, heard a bunch of squealing. The dogs and I ran over there. It was a clutch of baby cottontails, and a Texas rat snake was attacking them. The rat snake fled, and Oso and Maya ate the baby bunnies before I could stop them. So it didn't work out too well for the bunnies that time, but it does sometimes. And it could be that one or two of them got away because their siblings squealing. But it's very similar. It's a high-pitched squeal, and a lot of animals use it to it. And like I say, it's effective. Okay, let's get to the fish we were doing today. This is Labeotropheus fuelleborni. Note, I pronounce the terminal I, that single I, as a long E. That's because in Latin, that's a Latin ending. In Latin, a single I is pronounced long E. Now, things get a little complicated. If there's two I's in a row, it's pronounced EI. The second I is pronounced long I. An example of that would be Ziphophorus hellerii, which basically means Heller's swordtail. To complicate things a little bit more, so you see there are two I's at the end, so EI, hellerii. Why didn't I pronounce Ziphophorus? That's ZXIPH, etc. Why didn't I pronounce the I as long E there? Because that's Ziphophorus is a Greek word, and the pronunciation of vowels is different in Greek from Latin. By the way, Ziphophorus means sword bearer, so that's why I said Heller's sword bearer is the meaning of that name. Okay, so we're doing fuelleborni, Labeotropheus fuelleborni. This is a color strain we call Blue Marmalade. Let's get the males up here. These are the three males I've picked as breeders. This is normally a very, very prolific fish, but during the winter storm, I can't find the records on that, but Susie says that we were down to 6 fish. Last breeding cycle, at the end of last breeding cycle, we only had 54 fish. This breeding cycle produced 173 youngsters. That was out of 12 breeders. And I've decided to use these 3 males. I kind of like him. He's got a little bit more color in his dorsal. This guy's a little pale but nice. So I'm going to go with those. Oh, look at the kind of purplish along his lateral line. I don't know if that shows up in the video well, but There's definitely a pretty fish. Okay, I'm putting them in this bucket, Susie. Those are our mature females, 9 of them. And the next bucket over has young females that we're adding to the breeding colony. And one of them's, there's a fry. Okay, and see that little fish right there is carrying, right there. And here's a female in here carrying. Our fish don't spit eggs. One good note is in the 300 they came out of, there are tons of newly released fry, about a ½ inch long. So we should have a good batch next time. This is a popular fish. Let's get some females out to look at. There's quite a bit of variation in the females, and the interesting thing is, see this one, the female's kind of bluish. Most of them are these yellowish orange colors. If you look, I'm not going to pick her up because she's carrying. That one's really orange. Okay, so we're going to set these guys up. We have a total of, I think there, how many were in there? How many did I say? 10?
Yes, it's 10.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a reasonably, well, still small because we aim to have 40 to 50 females, but it's reasonably large. We should do fairly well next time. So I'm going to put these up in 300, good fish keeping.